So I haven't featured our garden in a minute. We have corn, we have mchicha, we have bamia. Joseph wasn't here for about 2 weeks and he missed the cutting for the mchicha. But more importantly, we have these watermelons coming up in that field that you can see like right there in front of you. We have tomatoes. Some of the seeds that I bought did not come out. Um, but we did do some things like build the lower retaining wall to keep all of the that's just the edge of it right there, to keep all of the soil in place. Um, so we what are we doing now? We are cutting lantana. So I'm going to probably do an update on what this looks like. So these plants, they're very good and good for us here because we're right on the beach and we have like the salt spray. So instead of spending more money to buy new plants, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do cuttings. So how do we do the cutting? So basically, I would take the branch of this and I would remove everything, including the young buds that are coming, and leave the top two leaves. So I start at the node here and then I slightly crush this with a knife to get it start going to give me roots. So in about 2 or 3 weeks, I will have roots coming out of this. So I mean, that is going to save a considerable amount of money for where I want to put these. I'm going to be putting them on the cliff, and I'm going to be putting them on that rock garden I had already started a few weeks ago. But I really like that uh, cliff space for an event space, right? And so I am doing what I can do with what I have available to me. So let me walk back there so y'all can understand what um what I'm talking about, right? So for an event space, for a wedding venue, this place is actually ideal. But as you can see, the driveway needs to be done to make it what it could be. I'm not talking about in the house. The house is still definitely about the repatriation, but here, the outside, I mean, that is another opportunity to to raise capital to keep this functioning and maintaining, right? So I mean, if we put a fountain right here, I can tell you how beautiful that would be for a wedding, spot for photos. And all around, if you go to the areas all around Dar es Salaam for weddings, you're going to find them crowded, expensive, and nothing really looks like what we have available to us here. So as you can see, like, this would have to be resurfaced. If you could put someone out here to take some photos, that back wall would have to be resurfaced. I would like to cover this whole place in sand. So the balcony itself lends itself to a picture perfect area. Um, there are bedrooms inside there that can be used for the brides to get dressed. We need to put lights on the outside of the house. We already have some on the trees, but we would need some lights on the gate, and we would need some lights out here. So as far as a venue goes, we have the beach, we have the picturesque view. People are spending buku money going to Zanzibar. Um, you know, we would need to put some kind of gate, well, not gate, but some kind of fencing here, right? And that will be a pretty penny. That back wall, we built that wall, so we'll be running electricity, and we're going to be covering this with sand and making it all come to life. And yes, it would be good to have an investor to, come on board with this, because this space sells itself. This is where we put the hammock gardens. We take them up in case there is an event. We could put tents out here for spa, massages, manicure, pedicure, things like that. So this whole area, I invested a lot of money in the plants, and it seems like the salt air was not the best for the cactus plants that I put out here. So not those cactuses, but the little Jesus plants. You can see one of them right here, that one, right? And that sprouts a pretty red flower, but with the salt air, it was not, and I've spent, when I came here, this is what sold the property for me, because as an event planner and someone who knows the tech world, I know how to market this. I know how to bring the clients repeatedly to a place like this. And so I invested in this wall, and I try to keep the garden, I try to keep, weeding this up, because I don't want this to take root. So when it rains, this grass comes back a hell of a lot. So the boys have been working assiduously on trying to keep it exactly, to keep it this way. But it's time I either put up or shut up, because this is definitely prime real estate. We put a gazebo, we put something here. This would be the view for you can see the Coconut Cathedral. There's like a lining on either side. And then we have the bougainvillea. We just keep them trained to continue to grow over the wall, and we just dig up that area there, and we just have to move some of the rocks and things. So yeah, this is definitely the time for partnerships. I did plant some of those large blue frond plants, and I see this plant trying to come back, the what do you call it, the neem, trying to come back. But when we got this was impenetrable jungle, right? You couldn't penetrate this whole area if you tried. And so I spent a lot of money cutting down and digging up and burning and continuing to keep the soil churned up. But it's like go time right now, and you really have to be here to appreciate all what this is, because like now it is so hot. It is so hot in Dar es Salaam, but this place is cool. I don't even want to go home, because it's just so relaxing to sit out here. One of our friends came and said, I could just spend the whole day right here, which is possible, right? So it's time for me to get the moving on this space. We have a couple of event planners who are coming out. We have also had a couple of people who want to do some events out here, right? But granted, it does need a lot of work. It does need, some foundation. So I'm looking for partners to get this spot going, and hosting our own events. Like glamping is a very big thing. I don't know if it's hit Tanzania yet, but for what it is, for what the space is and the size of it. I mean, you can see weddings out here. You can see, bridal showers here. We have the master bedroom there if somebody wanted to use that room to get dressed. You can do everything all in one there. So we have the facilities. We already have the foundation of what it is. Even here is picturesque. I just like, if your vision is garden, then you can do that. If your vision is the ocean, then you can do that, right? And I just love this spot. I would put a outdoor tent right here and a couple of day beds, right? And probably a little service area. We actually have an area in the front that we have earmarked for kitchen. Who is that? Johanna? Hello? Johanna? Oh. Why every time I call you never say yes? I just saw the person walking. Was making sure it was you. Never mind, go. Oh my God. So that's my gardener, one of the guys that work here. But he never says, every time I call him, he never says like yes or no. So I don't know if he heard me. So I'm like, who's that walking up the gangway and coming onto the property? I need to know who that is. It's okay, Johanna. Safi. Yeah, so you can see like right here, it's magical. So I have been making a lot of things, I put a ton of of my out-of-pocket money out here trying to get these little plants to do something, but the salt air isn't good for them. So I'm gonna have to move these like this. I've just been struggling. They're all struggling. I don't know if I need plant food or what, right? But yes, so massages, pedicure, foot rubs, bridal parties, you name it, it can all happen here. And so back to what I started out with, the lantana is a salt hardy plant. So I'm gonna uproot all of these little Jesus plants from here. That's what people call them. And I'm gonna uproot my sago palm from there. And I'm going to just run my trailing lantana all along the cliff here. So at least there's some kind of ground coverage. And then we're gonna use sand for the remainder out here. So I'm just doing what I can do with what I have available to me. So whether that's planting new plants or digging it up, but I don't like it looking abandoned. I don't like it looking like it's not loved, because it really is. And there's a lot of opportunity here, right? So I'm looking for partners for that, because to really sell this as what it could be, or the potential for what it could be, a considerable amount of money has to go in. A considerable amount has already gone in. And if we're going to do that, we're going to have to start that now, right? We can't wait any longer because the rains are coming. The rains are coming in about 2 months. And so the idea would be to get the construction work going and be completed by those in those 2 months, and at least get 6 events in here before the rain comes. So at least there is a way, at least there is a way to see what it can do. So rains come March, April, sometimes the end of February. Once the rains start coming, then that's something else. So we're already in January, and yeah, so I've had this property a year and a half. I didn't stop working on it because I ran out of, resources. I stopped working on it because I ran out of energy, right? And, we just want to keep this moving and keep it going. So, um, looking for partners. If you know anyone, let me know. Because if you can just see my vision based on what I've already done with what was available to me, which wasn't a whole lot. You can tell my work ethic, that I complete things, and you can tell that I have taste and I have class, and I know how to get things going, and I also know how to market and accelerate my business. So we're going to keep moving forward with what we have available to us. This wall over here is where I'm going to make as a feature wall. So when the brides or whoever would like to take pictures, they would have this picturesque setting of this on this area right here. So I am going to do a mock photo shoot just to get the ideas going of what can be some things that I can share with my event planner friends, so that they can see, the vision coming to life. And yeah, so these, we definitely have to get those out. We have to, add stepping stones. We're gonna have to put an aggregate here because all our pipes are under here. And so it's getting dark. All of this has to be redone. This around the entire house, because I never touched this. I touched on the other side, and the balcony needs to be done as well. But yeah, I mean, we're only going to be successful at our entrepreneurial goals, our repatriation goals, if we have the resources to do that. And so, opening up streams of revenue to make this a possibility, make this repatriation a possibility for more people, is the mission. And yeah, this is a great spot for photos as well, but we have this big old house right here that we have to get down and get rid of. Got Joseph over there digging. Hey, where are you going? Yeah, so we're still moving forward with our beekeeping mission. We are still looking for candidates who would like to become a part of our project. And so we are moving as fast as people would like to move. The faster we have people who would like to get involved, join our project, pay dues, the more we can do. But at this point, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that I am one person. I'm a human being, and I have a child to take care of. So I have to make sure that I can do all that I can do, that I'm taking care of my child and not taking care of everyone else's needs, and then we don't have what we need to have to be okay. So mama's got to do what mama's got to do. So back to lantana. I'm gonna cut my lantana and continue on. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching.